In the 1930s, a remote farmhouse in Cashan's Gap on the Isle of Man became the focus of weird events. Following a poltergeist outbreak, a small strange creature appeared. The Irving family, who owned the house, heard the animal speak. It claimed to be a mongoose called Gef, who had been born in India in 1852. Gef haunted the family for almost a decade and became world famous. He was even mentioned in the British Parliament. Although the house at Cashan's Gap was demolished in 1971, Gef remains a Fortean icon to this day.
Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's me, Barry Tadcaster, back again, and this is my old mate, Gef the Talking Mongoose. I'm the eighth wonder of the world, me! Thou shalt never know what I am. I already know what you are, you're a talking mongoose. Oh, that's by the by, I was born in New Delhi in 1852. Hey! Well, you've aged quite well, ain't you, mate? Oh yes, oh yes. It's time for On the Track Extra with Barry Tadcaster and Gef the Talking Mongoose. Gef a referee, what's going on this week? We will be actually meeting here in the studio, no less, a robot bar of chocolate. Futuristic, eh?
The other day, Carl Marshall was on Facebook doing moderating on one of the CFZ Facebook groups, and he'd posted a story up about an interesting biological conundrum, to which somebody wrote, getting the spelling wrong, "What's this got to do with cryptozoology?" Well, the answer is nothing, but we're not the Centre for Cryptozoology, we're the Centre for Fortean Zoology, and our job is to look into all sorts, a wide range of animal mysteries, from the prosaic to the high strangeness and borderline science fiction of something like the Owlman. And just before Christmas we were sent another story. We were sent this by my stepdaughter Shoshana, and this is a puzzle which has deeply divided various members of the CFZ who have looked at it. Here we are, looking a little bit like an indie band from 1994 with, in fact we look like an outtake from a publicity shot of Elastica or something. I want to tell you all a rather peculiar story. Just before Christmas, in the middle of all the other stuff that was going on, my darling stepdaughter Shoshana sent me this photograph. And what I find interesting about the photograph is that half the people who have seen it think it is one thing, and the other half of the people who have seen it think it's another thing. And even though the second lot of people are almost certainly right, I still can't see it. Now, me and Lars and Charlotte here, before she became a turncoat and decided she agreed with the other thing, we all thought it looked like a dog of some sort. In fact, I thought, and I seem to remember Karina thought as well, that it looked like a wolf. But this photograph was taken on a towpath in rural Wiltshire just before Christmas, and although there have been suggestions that there are wolves remaining in a few of the wilder parts of the United Kingdom, rural Wiltshire is not one of them. So me, Lars, Karina and originally Charlotte thought it looked like some sort of a dog. But Carl, his dad, and Shoshana, and somebody else, I can't remember who the somebody else was, so forgive me, Mr. and Mrs. somebody else, What do you think it is, Carl?
It looks like a deer to me. Again, I can't see why anybody would be decapitating dogs and leaving them on the roadside, whereas this is a pretty regular occurrence for poachers and deer.
Haven't you read the Ed Sanders book, The Family?
Yeah.
About the Kirk Order of Dog Blood?
Mm-hmm.
But no.
No.
So, why would a deer have been decapitated?
It's just been butchered and for meat, and this is the bits that have been left, and they've just been dumped on the roadside. It happens all the time in the Midlands.
All sorts of things happen all the time in the Midlands, as Archie will tell you. But would this have been a poacher, or would it have been?
Yeah, it would be illegal.
And what species?
That's difficult to say. It's not particularly big. I don't know. I wouldn't want to comment on the species. All I'll say is I'm convinced it's a cervid of some sort.
Didn't your dad say he thought it was a fallow deer?
He did, yeah.
Shosh thought it was a muntjac, and
the markings don't look right to me for a muntjac. They've got dark markings on the head on the muntjac.
You've got these strange white things there along the side.
Yeah, I just spotted that.
There.
Which you wouldn't get on a dog.
Well, what I was wondering, is that fur coloration, or is it subcutaneous fat having oozed out after the...
That's a good point.
Because I got bitten once by one of the dogs who lived with us nearly 30 years ago. And I got bitten on this poor beleaguered finger here, which is the one I keep on getting bitten on things by. And it was only with one of the incisor teeth of a dog, but a load of subcutaneous fat oozed out of it. It was really unpleasant. I'm just wondering if that is subcutaneous fat there. Yes? No? Unlikely?
I would say it's more likely markings, coloration, nothing to do with... I mean, they just cut the head off with a saw, or, you know, sometimes they just break it off anyway, and it wouldn't be puncture marks.
Is that... Sorry.
It's all right.
Is that a leaf, or is that, like, some of the flesh?
Good question, I don't know.
It could be the tongue. No, it couldn't.
No, it couldn't.
Because
This is very weird.
Because if that's some of the flesh, it could be more likely that maybe some of the fat's come out.
The ears look too long to me for a dog, and the shape of the nose doesn't look right either.
Good one, isn't it? Because this is what Fortean Zoology is about. Fortean Zoology is about solving animal mysteries. It isn't about exploring the outer edges of science fiction. It is about when somebody sends you a mysterious photograph, trying to work out what it is. And I think, Carl, even though I'd still like to believe it's a dog, I think you're probably right. And you and your dad, I wouldn't argue with your dad, he knows far more than I do. So, yes, I think you and your dad are right.
Occam's razor would suggest it's a deer, because that would be, you know, the most simplest logical explanation without...
And now over to Dr. Max Blake for our final visit to Moscow Aquarium.
This section's quite nice. I don't think it's quite as good as the freshwater, just because there are so many places with good marine collections that seeing yet another one is a bit bland.
And, like we were saying earlier, it's marine, because marine isn't as interesting as freshwater.
They were doing what, sorry?
It's also because it's marine, as we were saying earlier. Marine isn't as interesting as freshwater.
No, exactly.
To me, it's probably because lakes, ponds and rivers are small enough that a decently done tank can encapsulate it. But the oceans are so bloody big that whatever you do with an ocean tank, it's never going to be more than a fraction as good as it should be.
No. But, I mean, this is quite a nice one. I'm a fan of this tank.
I think it's very nicely done.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, the amount of stuff that they've got here that I've never seen before is insane.
Wow, what on earth is that yellow boxfish?
Yeah, it's just a yellow morph guinea fowl puffer.
Hopefully a natural morph.
Yeah, it is. They can be grey or yellow or a mixture. Hopefully you can hear me over the person shouting in Russian.
Yeah, perfectly. It's I think you've got a very, very short-range microphone on there.
Sure.
Wow, isn't that beautiful?
Sorry?
I was just admiring that. Boxfish, cowfish, I think.
It's this one.
Yes.
It's a Titan triggerfish.
I can see it's a triggerfish now, but it was swimming so fast and the camera was trying to autofocus on it.
Oh, great. It just went all blurry and messy.
No, it just didn't go, it wasn't there long enough for my brain to process the signals.
That's fair. So then you've got the big tunnel tank.
Wow. That is...
What on earth is that?
I think it's a bowmouth guitarfish.
Charlotte will be so jealous because she loves sharks.
Oh, right. Brilliant.
So if you could shout out what sharks are what as you see them.
I think we've got... I think it's a bowmouth guitarfish. You've got black tip and I think white tip reef sharks. There's a big sand tiger, there's a zebra shark.
I love that guitarfish.
It's almost a ray.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Like Carl just said, it's sort of almost a ray. You can see where the sort of dividing line between sharks and rays is.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. Yeah, they've got another couple of tanks for more marine species. So mainly bannerfish in here.
Those are...
Triggered well.
It's beautiful.
That one's a bit dull. Let's go through the walkthrough.
This is on Track Xtra number 3.
Then you've got nerd shark on the bottom. Oh no, they're not. I'm not sure what those are. I think they're just the white tips again.
I don't think I've ever seen white tips resting.
I think they're white tip. I mean, I might well be wrong on that one.
I take it all the labels are written in English.
Yeah, the labels will be in Russian, won't they?
I love these.
Well, the walkthrough tanks. It's just a pity they're not breathing.
Sort of come out of the tunnel and to the best bit of the whole thing.
Well, the gift shop.
I was going to say that.
The best bit of the whole thing is at the gift shop and the place where they have the animatronic stripy things.
That's fair.
What?
These are?
I can't. It's those Baikal seal.
Seal.
Jesus.
So there's a couple up on the rocks. There's a few swimming around that you can't really see.
I can see the one swimming around better.
Oh, you can? Okay, good.
Baikal seal, that is... I've never ever seen Baikal seal. They are, aren't they, the only purely freshwater species of seal in the world?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there are some species of seal which can be found in fresh water, as we know from Loch Ness. And there are even some species of seal that have fully freshwater populations. But this is the only one that's not found at all in the sea.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is awesomely, awesomely awesome.
It's easily the best thing here.
It would be probably the best thing in most zoos.
Oh yeah, easily.
These I do hope are being bred.
Sorry?
These I truly do hope are being bred. They're a weird shape compared to most seals, aren't they? They've got tiny heads.
They're very fat, basically.
Is that because that's the shape they're meant to be, or because these...
Yes. Yeah, they're fully grown normal adults.
So they're really fat with a deceptively tiny head sticking out the other end.
Sorry?
Because what they look like from here is if they've got really silly tiny little heads. But it's because the body is so large, the head is normal seal size in proportion, but the body is so large it makes them most peculiar.
I think they swim with the head kind of retracted, because I've seen them, and when they interact with each other and things, they stick it right out again, and they look normal. Right, dude, I better go.
And so that was the end of Max's live stream from the aquarium deep underneath Moscow. And what an adventure it was. I've enjoyed re-watching the film very much indeed, and I very much hope that Max, during one of his future visits to far-flung places and the zoos found within these far-flung places, will do more live streams for us so I can share them with you. Very many thanks to Max for his thoughtfulness and kindness, and I hope you people out in Watcherland enjoyed watching it as much as I did. I would like to also point out that whereas every effort's been made to contact the copyright holders of these photographs, we believe that we are justified in reproducing them in this not-for-profit video using the policy of fair use. However, if there is anybody who believes that their intellectual or legal rights have been infringed, please contact us and we will do our best to bring the matter to a mutually acceptable solution. Well, ladies and gentlemen, between the year 2000 and 2017, that's 17 years, I promoted something that we called the Weird Weekend, which was a conference for and by the Centre for Fortean Zoology. The Weird Weekend came to an end for all sorts of reasons, but I missed the Weird Weekend massively, and so I decided to rebrand On The Track and make it more like The Weird Weekend, give it more of the zeitgeist of high strangeness and sheer silliness, as well as the hard science, which was always the hallmark of The Weird Weekend. And so, instead of coming out with an episode of nearly an hour once a month, we do our regular monthly episodes of On The Track, but they're kept down to about half an hour ago now, and in between, we aim to do them every week, but it doesn't always work out like that, we have something called On The Track Extra, which is what you're watching now. And I hope you enjoy it, and just to give you another taste of what the new On The Track's like, here, taken pretty well at random, are two links that I think you might enjoy.